as Chris rightly mentioned, we can have the students and some little youth to be in the next hall. The session we are going to have now is cybersecurity. We're going to have a panel discussion. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Menge, for that fantastic moderation. Honestly, you surprised me. Yeah, I was outside enjoying your panel with Binta. Honestly, your panel was very educative and it was interesting. And I think we have to give a round of applause to the panelists once again for the fantastic job that they did. Honestly, my sister Martin did justice to the panel. The director of ICT did it, and my very good sister Jojo. These are all experts in their various fields, and they did justice to the topic. So for the youth IGF, as we rightly mentioned, the venue is just opposite opposite the order, opposite the receptions. So, okay. So I would like to first invite my panelists into the discussion. First, I will start with the Gambia Police Force Public Relations Officer. Our representative is here, Madam De Toure, representing the Gambia Police Force. Can we put a round of applause for Madam De Toure to be in the panel, please? And can we have Mr. Malick Sallah from the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response Team, gmCSIRT, to also be in the panel? And can we have Anet Sambou, the president and founder of SHOAW Gambia, also in the panel? We are supposed to have a representative from the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. Unfortunately, we could not get a representative because of some sudden changes in the program of scale. And also, we will be having another session after this where the ministry will be participating. So first, let's look at the brief background about this time, cyber security. We know if you mention cyber security, it's the order of the day. You know, everyone is talking about cyber security. Everyone is concerned. Whoever in this hall has a mobile phone or a laptop, and you're concerned with the security of your mobile phones and your laptop, which are very important. And essentially, this panel, we're going to focus on cyber security and trust. When we say cyber security and trust, these are very important topics that we cannot afford not to talk about. Right in front of me, if you look at the panel, we have two government agencies, which is the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response Team, which is an arm of the government operating on the program. And we have the Gambia Police Force. We know if crimes are caught, we report cases to the police. And we have a civil society organization that is always putting pressure on the government and the private sectors to ensure we have that resilient cyberspace as far as cybersecurity and trust is concerned. And looking into my panels, I will start with Malick, who comes from the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response. Malick, my first question is, gmCSIRT started operating in the Gambia as a kind of a semi-authority when it comes in terms of coordinating cybersecurity issues as far as the Gambia is concerned. We want you to tell the audience if there are issues of fraud as far as the gmCSIRT is concerned. The reason why I'm putting it is that I know so many SART have issues of trust in so many countries because people are not very, very conversant in trusting the government to manage or coordinate cybersecurity affairs at the national level because of fear of.
By ITU. Yes, we still have trust lacking in cybersecurity at the gmCSIRT and in the Gambia. Based on our mandate, we are working with a lot of cybersecurity companies from the outside. You will see an incident where we will have an alert regarding cybersecurity for an institution. We will send an advisory to that institution, but most of this institution does not know that there's an existence of a gmCSIRT. So basically, most of them, they don't see that advisories as useful to them. So what they do is they will ask us, there is no policies drafted by the government. There's no policies drafted by the government. So, but right now, the government has came up with a plan drafting policies. A minute. Sorry. The government has drafted a cybersecurity policy plan. The cybersecurity policy plan it involves 7 pillars, 7 policy pillars: building cybersecurity capacity, institutional framework for cybersecurity governance and enhancement, cybersecurity legal and regulatory framework, critical information infrastructure protection, and cybersecurity capacity building and awareness, building a cybersecurity industry and international cooperation. This policy is already been drafted and is now at the parliament waiting for approval by the parliament.
Thank you very much, Malick. That's very, very important for us to know. I have a very, very important follow-up question to that, but I'll suspend that for now. I will go to Madam De Toure from the Gambia Police Force. Gambia Police Force being the force whenever incident occurs, the first thing that we think of is go and report it to police. My first question is the police prepared?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And it's a pleasure being here representing our good PRO, Binta. Yeah, Mr. Ba, that's a very good question. I can say police is very, very, very much prepared when it comes to people personal has information, which is known as and Gambia Police Force is actually serious about cybersecurity. because that's why we now have cybercrime units. It is established by ECOWAS and through ECOWAS, and it is been equipped with digital forensic investigation tools, whereby if someone comes to do this, a complaint, we conduct the digital investigations, prepare reports, and we make sure that the information that we collected from that device is actually secured. Because as you is supposed to be as a digital investigation professional, you have to follow chain of custody to make sure that the integrity of that information, so it can be there isn't the evidence can be. So we are actually working hard, and as basically I would for the time we'll just stop here. If we go further, I would like about some of the things that they can get police force is going to actually certify and to make sure that those information that have been collected are actually secure. Because if you go digital, then you have to also consider the cybersecurity aspect of it. Because collecting people's sensitive information and then security measures will be in place to actually protect those information. So, yeah.
Very good. Before I go to Anet, I have a very, very important follow-up questions. The Gambia Police Force has one of the most equipped digital forensic lab. I am a testimony to that. They are one of the most equipped digital forensic lab in this sub-region. But these questions keep coming. We have never seen the Gambia Police Force provide any evidence in the law court when you come in terms of prosecution that are generated from this lab. If there has been, we will want you to update this group, some of the examples of prosecutions or cases that have been, incidents that have been prosecuted in the law court. And this evidence were extracted using those tools.
Exactly. I will not read to prosecution level because we have prosecution office in the Gambia Police Force. So our responsibility is for us when a crime is being committed, a device is brought to us, we conduct investigation, we write our reports, we send it back to the office that actually requested the digital investigations. So they will take those reports to the court. So if the courts go through those information, those reports, and they feel like a digital forensic expert needs to come and explain more or in details about those investigation that has been committed, that has been investigated. So then from there, cybersecurity expert will normally go. But for, because I can testify that I have conducted a lot of investigations in the Gambia Police Force, and for security reason, I don't want to mention.
Yeah,
this,
I understand.
but
I understand.
yeah,
I understand.
so I can say the coup that happened last time here, the coup attempt that happened. I think we are all aware about it.
Yeah.
So we have I personally conducted that investigation. It was assigned to me by the Inspector General of Police, which I did. I did all the investigations with my team, and then we actually drafted a report based on what we have found on those devices, and we make sure that we don't look at the president is the one who asks us to do this, but we always make sure we follow chain of custody. We have no relationship with the president or with the IG to actually manipulate the reports in their favor. We conduct investigation, we write report based on what we have found during the investigations, and I myself can testify to that. I have submitted the report to actually the office of the IGP and then the SIS. So from there, and then that's where we stopped.
Yeah, but wait. I have to put you in a hot seat today.
Yes.
The Gambia Police Force is being bullied from all angles. We have seen instances where the police will present audio recordings in court without going through the normal chain of custody. And most instances lead to some of these cases being kicked out of the court. without the criminals being prosecuted, and they end up walking free. I believe you have your counterpart police officers in the crowd. If anybody want to add Jimbo to what I am saying,
I think
do that qualifies your first question, your first statement that the Gambia police force is fully ready when you come in terms of cybersecurity and cybercrime?
I can say, when it comes to digital investigations, the Gambia police force is actually ready.
It's not about the digital investigation.
Yes,
here we're talking about.
Yes, when it comes to cybersecurity, the Gambia police force, some of the people in the Gambia police force really need cybersecurity, the capacity building in cybersecurity, because I can say right now the digital investigators that we have in the Gambia police force right now is not even up to 5.
Yeah,
that's why I'm always, any investigation that is to happen, I have to be there. I have to make sure that everything is investigated well. We follow proper chain of custody. And the issue also that we have is sometimes also the laws that they are not in place. Sometimes someone can commit a crime, you do your investigation and everything, but what is the law? The laws are not there to actually prosecute these people.
I'll tend to disagree to some extent.
Yes.
Sometimes your force, this is what they used to confuse us. Yes, the audience are here. We have to be frank. We have the Information Communication Act, which has a full-fledged section of the act
extortion,
that talks about cybercrime.
Yeah.
And what we notice as an expert in the domain is the reason why most of the cases split through your fingers, you people, is because whenever these cases are taken to court, you use the criminal code to prosecute criminals.
In some cases,
and not essentially, let me learn. Essentially, you will agree with me. Right. You guys are here. Anyone can step in. You will agree with me. The criminal code does not address. In fact, it doesn't address even 20% issues relating to cybercrime. Criminal code is a colonial law.
Yes,
it was here since before cybercrime becomes a problem in society.
Most of the time we use criminal code voluntary.
Thank you. So if the force is saying we don't have the laws, it baffles us in the ecosystem. You know why? We have international treaties that the Gambia government has signed. We have the Malabo Convention. The director of ICT is here, which has recently been ratified by the Gambia government. These are treaties that the police force, the prosecutors can use.
Ethiopia.
Yes,
these are just recently.
So these are things that the prosecutors can use in the law court to ensure cyber criminals are prosecuted.
Absolutely.
So what
I can say, we are talking about the IC Act 2009, right? So some of those, the IC Act 2009 actually focused more on telecommunications, right? So there's only a small portion that talks about misuse of digital informations, which is extortion and others, and others. So basically, some of the investigations are actually above that prosecution, you know. No, that was signed just recently. When I don't know if some people are actually even following, even on Facebook, I posted there. I was so happy that we were able to sign that treaty. It was signed by Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Usman Eba, right? Usman Ba, yes, Usman Ba. So when I heard that, I was very happy. So I was like, now, if we have cases, I will just go use that. You understand? We will be watching. I'll come back to you. Exactly. We'll be watching. I'll come back to you. Anet. Anet, SHOAW Gambia, the civil society, the likes of SHOAW Gambia, Gambia Cyber Security Alliance, GAMCON, are doing a lot of advocacy in terms of cybercrime. You heard what our able people from the government, what they stated. Malick said, yes, at the gmCSIRT, there are issues of trust because they send communique
that is the situational report in terms of vulnerabilities that are detected on specific networks, but they are not taken seriously. They'll be like, these are some folks with Max Junga sitting at Abuko Art Station trying to send us a report to say, you know, your network is vulnerable. So they don't take them seriously. The police force, yes, has one of the most equipped digital forensic lab, thanks to Okwasi through the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. But still, we have issues of trust. You are working with the public. Why do you think trust is a problem in cybersecurity?
Thank you, Amadou. Good afternoon to everyone here. Thank you for having me on this panel. As you rightly said, there is the issue of trust. And one of the major causes of this, as someone that has been addressing issues of online harassment for the past 4.5 years now, one of the main reasons why there is lack of trust is because of awareness. You know, people are not really aware. You know, majority of the time when I conduct trainings for young people, you know, especially when it comes to cyberbullying and all that, we realize that so many of us are bullies online. But if you want to call anybody out to them, it was just a way of making fun or exploring the use of the internet, among others. But awareness raising is very important for government to take issues of cybercrime seriously. They need to understand how these issues really affect victims. And it just doesn't affect victims alone. It affects victims, it affects the family, it affects the community that they're coming from. It affects the country as a whole. As I kept saying, if issues of cyberbullying, issues of online violence are not addressed, where are we tomorrow in terms of social economic development of the country? So we have a lot of issues to address, but one of the key focus areas should be to create more awareness on issues of cybercrime so people to understand what it is about. The issues are happening, but they don't really know what it is or to point out what sort of cybercrime this is and all. So to answer your question, one of it is awareness lack.
Just to add to that, I could recall last year, gmCSIRT with other stakeholders, the ministry, MOGDI, and GCSA, we are part of a sponsored program from UNESCO. We were doing an cybersecurity awareness and cybercrime awareness, going to the schools, radio program and TVs. I think even they was part of that program for almost 1 month, cybersecurity awareness program, awareness event. Yeah.
Thank you. Malick, I'm coming back to you. From the gmCSIRT, you made mention of issues of trust, and I'm happy that you made mention of the 7 pillars, which include the critical infrastructures. Can you tell this gathering what is the relationship between gmCSIRT all these national critical information infrastructures?
Thank you, Amadou, for that question. Is to secure this cyberspace of the Gambia. So basically what we do, we are in partners with some cybersecurity companies outside. What they do is they do a daily scan on the nodes in the country, and they will send the alerts to us. From there, we identify which IP is owned by which institution, and we send an advisories to the institution for them to remediate or recommend how to fix the affected system in their network. I could remember we were working with InsistNet, even the ministry, MOGDI, we do send them security advisories.
So if you're saying you send security advisories and nothing happens, the notion that I have, most of the institutions believe you people are not legally mandated to, in fact, do what you are doing, because there is no regulatory frameworks that is made known to the public to say the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response Team will be responsible for, monitoring and scanning our cyberspace and be providing advisory to affected institutions. What will you respond to those people?
Actually, the policies are already been drafted. It has been sent to cabinet for approvals. From there, it will be made visible to the public.
I am not happy with that answer, because if you are telling the audience that the policies are formulated and they have been sent to the cabinet for approval, essentially it means you, gmCSIRT or Pura and the ministry jump the gun. The policies and the regulations should come before the establishment of the SAT. So the SAT is established and started operating and monitoring our cyberspace without any regulatory framework. So how do you expect the public to trust you? The director is raising his hand. I think he might have something to add on to that. Let's hear from the director of ICT.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator and distinguished panelists. So I think for me, if you look at the IC Act, the minister has the powers to come up with regulations in the interest of the sector. That is already established in the law. So when it comes to establishing gmCSIRT, we went through the right procedures to establish the gmCSIRT. So essentially, the gmCSIRT was supposed to be under the ministry at the time. Of course, under possibly the National ICT Agency, but the ICT agency, the ICT agency was not established. And of course, the ministry at the time thought it prudent to actually align the establishment of the gmCSIRT under Pura for good reasons. Because if you look at it, if you look at the government revenue package, let's say the remuneration of government officials is actually very low compared to the public enterprises. And we wanted to make sure that we get in right talents. So obviously getting right talents, you need to make sure that their pay was actually attractive enough. So, and also some of the other commitments that will go to the gmCSIRT, you needed a budget to that. And at the time, the ministry, obviously from central government, that was going to be a concern. So this is why we engaged the regulator, and the gmCSIRT was established under the purview of the regulator. Obviously, the thinking at the time was going to be for a few years until the ICT agency ICT agency is fully established and operational. Really, but what I want to, just to answer the question, is we went through the right procedures to establish the gmCSIRT, and they are mandated to do what they are doing. It's actually the first point of contact when it comes to incidents, and like what they are doing and like what Malick has reported, really. But they went to the right procedures to establish the gmCSIRT. But people, once you don't want to collaborate, you will always say, they did not fulfill blah blah blah, as excuses. But we went to the right processes to establish gmCSIRT. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. Gambia is ranked 17 in Africa in terms of cybersecurity, which for me, I think it's the other way around. It gives me very good advantage looking at 55 countries or 54 countries in Africa, and we are ranked 17, which is very good. I think we have to give a round of applause to the ministry. Yes, we are ranked 17 in Africa in terms of cybersecurity and cybercrime. But again, Malick and the Toure, we also what happened in the Central Bank of the Gambia, right? So our financial industries, Malick, our financial industries, are they actually getting themselves prepared for the future war? I mean, cyber war in this case.
Actually, we made some recommendation at the CBG, but let me say, no, we are not yet ready. we will make a follow-up. There are policies that are been drafted also, where we will also be mandated to do assessment to all the financial sector in the Gambia. I think when all those policies are all in place, we'll be able to help them secure their network.
So the reason why I'm asking this is important because our ranking in Africa is very, very good. I can tell you, very, very good, 17. But globally, it's terrible, 117 out of 131. So our global indexing is not good. And most instances, if you look.
Okay, let me add to this. The SAT is facing some financial problem. Okay, there are tools that we need, and still now they are not in place at the SAT. So that is why we cannot do a lot of things to update that ranking.
So looking at trust, cybersecurity and trust, I will tend to disagree. I'll come to you because for me or for any taxpayer, as far as we are paying tax, it is not our problem whether the institution get money or not. What we want is the service, and we need that resilience. We need that protection. So if you sit on the high table there telling us the gmCSIRT is having some financial problem, why would you establish an institution that you know you can fund in the first place? So I will come back to Madam Dey Toure. The Gambia Police Force has been doing tremendous well when you come in terms of building the capacities of your officers in terms of ICT and cybersecurity. We have seen a lot of computer science graduates in the Gambia Police Force IT department. We want to understand truly in terms of trust, people working from the civil society perspective. We have seen instances where people will report cybercrime cases or individual cases to Gambia Cybersecurity Alliance or SHOAW Gambia. And if you ask them to report to the police, they will tell you doing that. I will just waste my time because if I report this matter to the police, they cannot respond, they cannot support. So trust is a problem for the police force.
Yes, trust is an issue, but I can say that was before, not now. That was before cybercrime units was formed. You know, before they did not have cybercrime units, whereby you can conduct digital forensic investigations. And let's say if you face any kind of cybercrime, like you can come as an individual as well, you know, to launch your complaint about the issues that you're facing on this cyberspace. I can say Gambia Police Force is really working hard to establish that trust. Because especially now we are planning to go digital. The Gambia Police Force is really working very hard. We're developing a software whereby instead of using manual, for example, when someone comes and let's say a complainant comes and then launch a complaint, you know, you normally found those big book diary whereby you will write everything there. So we're trying to go digital and make sure that those information are protected and they are accessible to the right people for the right reasons. That's what we are planning to do. And the IGP is really, really concerned about cybersecurity and digital forensics and making sure that people's informations are protected and people can trust the Gambia Police Force with their data, because it is our responsibility to protect the lives and properties of the people and make sure that their information, their informations are actually safe with us. You understand? So actually, we are really working hard when it comes to that. And then right now we are there. Actually, I can say when it comes to digital investigations, we are ready. When it comes to, let's say, if a cybercrime happens, we are there. They can reach out to us.
We are there. At the end of the day, we still haven't seen any case being prosecuted by the Gambia Police Force.
Like I said earlier,
in terms of cybercrime.
We had issues with the law, and for us, Digital Forensic Lab, we conduct all our investigations. We write our reports, and I can say, few months ago, I personally have conducted digital forensic on, I can say, 8 Nigerian Yahoo boys who were here doing nothing, but what they do is they are on the internet scamming Gambians and these white people on the internet pretending to be ladies or men on the internet to scam people on the internet. They do it in a way of they establish trust between you and them. That is called social engineering in cybersecurity. So they establish that trust. You feel like they are real people, but on the whole, they are just building that. So in the long run, they will exploit the trust that you build between you and them.
Where are they? Where are they? Where are those Nigerians?
Those Nigerians actually, we did our investigations and then we sent our reports to prosecution. So is the work of the prosecution now to take it to the court.
Neiture, you are speaking on behalf of the Gambia Police Force.
Yes.
I would love you to stop externalizing and resonating yourself from the responsibility that you are from the special investigation unit. But the prosecution, let me learn
Okay,
from the special investigation unit and the prosecution. I heard about the Nigerian case, and we want the Gambia Police Force to be giving us results when you come in terms of cybercrime investigation. It's not only about giving us press conferences about, we have arrested 7 Nigerians and their investigation. So since this case happened, it's a long time. By now, we could have been hearing that they have been prosecuted and also, sentenced to 5 years in prison with a fine, or this amount of years in prison with a fine.
You're using.
Are you telling me?
What if the 5 years you're using IC Act, the misuse of devices?
Why are these people not be prosecuted?
If you are you intrude into someone's computer without their permissions.
Why are these people still? You see, the reason why I'm sticking to this question is because we are talking about trust.
Yeah.
For, like Anet rightly mentioned, for people, for the general public, the audience here, to report cases to the Gambia Police Force, we have to trust the police and have the confidence in them that what we are reporting to them, at the end of the day, you have a high hope that something positive or something tangible will come out of it. Let me give you a brief synopsis here. You have the West Africa Police Information System, the WAPIS. It's in the custody of the police.
Yes.
But also, we want to understand still about trust. The process of identifying officers to work in WAPIS and the process of recruiting officers to be working in WAPIS. We have issues and concerns in terms of trust. Why? Because we believe the officers that are being recruited in WAPIS are not profiled. They are not being vetted. Civil society, we don't talk by just talking. We talk with evidence. The recruitment process in identifying those officers to work at WAPIS. And WAPIS deals with highly sensitive criminal record.
Okay, yes.
So the level of access in WAPIS, we want you to take us through in terms of who and where can this record be accessed and at what level.
Actually, you are saying like the public is actually not trusting the Gambia Police Force because of the people they are having working for them. They don't profile these people. I can say, for your information, we have special intelligence units in the Gambia Police Force, whereby we screen even people that are working in the Gambia Police Force. Your grandfather, I can say your background, we screen you. Even I, literally, when I started working, I was screened. And people that are working there, all of them have been screened. I can testify to that. Or if you want to go further, you can do your investigation as cybersecurity professionals. You will find out that actually we don't recruit people that we don't know. We make sure that we know who they are, where they are from. And from there, they will be regimented, and then they will be employed by the Gambia Police Force. And also regarding the investigation thing, since at the beginning, I told you, I said before we were having issues with the laws in the Gambia here. Some crimes are above the IC Act that we are having in the Gambia here. That's why at my earlier speech, previous speech, I said, that's why when I had that, our Minister of Communication and Digital Economy signed
Huh?
The Malabo Convention.
The Malabo Convention, exactly. Few months ago, I was happy. I was like, okay, now, if we have cases, we're able to prosecute using those laws until we can be using that law for now, because a cybercrime bill is been drafted and it has been passed to national level. It has been submitted to National Assembly level. So we are waiting for them to approve it. Ministry have sent it, so we are waiting for approval. But I think they need to push very hard. I mean, the minister, they are here, so I think they need to push very hard and make sure that these things can become a law. Just see, the Central Bank of the Gambia was hit. An investigation has been done about that attack. What is the result? Nothing has been published. You understand? And are they prosecuted? Who are the people that actually committed this crime? Recommend, and Malick said they do some recommendation on all those things. Okay. But now let me learn. I'm not done. And the central bank, I think what you said, trust issue is something here, a big issue, because when central bank was hit, the first point of contact supposed to be the Gambia police force, the cyber crime unit. But at the end they are like, we were scared, we were hit, and then we don't know what happened. If police got involved, if the police are involved in these things, something might happen. You understand? We are there for them to trust us. And it's just recently, after everything, we were able to come to terms that the Gambia Police Force cybercrime units need to be part of the board that they are working on, to establish that board. So in case of cyber attack, the central bank can just fall back to that. The central bank can just contact those people, and within that board, they can discuss about ways to actually mitigate that cyber attack that happens on central bank. I can tell you still, central bank is not secure.
Anet.
And the investigation that has been done is confidential. I don't want to say, but I can tell you. We are still not secure.
Malick, I'll come. Malick, I'll come to you. But Malick, I'll come to you.
There's three things I want to say, but for confidential purpose, I hold back.
Amadou, but ransomware is untraceable.
Of course, it is traceable. Who said it's not traceable?
Not the black cat.
No.
Okay, we'll come there. Don't worry. We'll come there.
I know where central bank account.
No, we'll come.
Who caused that?
You see, Malick, the police force spokesperson is here to defend the police force and ensure that he depicts a very good brand of the police. And I think he's doing very well in doing that. Anet, you are sitting near the two people from government. What do you think needs to be done in terms of cybersecurity, trust? You made mention of something very, very fantastic, very powerful. That is awareness. That's where everything begins. And I believe institutions, in fact, there are institutions in this country that has never conducted even a simple cybersecurity internal awareness. So as an expert in the domain, creating awareness and engaging policy makers, what do you think is lacking?
Thank you, Amadou. I think more pressure just needs to be put on the government, the laws. How much longer can we wait for the laws to be enacted by the National Assembly? I earlier said awareness. If people really take these cyber issues seriously, a lot can be mitigated. I always keep saying protection starts with you, the individual. But then again, we need the laws to be enforced for perpetrators to be held accountable for their actions in due time. We're talking about the issue of the central bank. We're talking about the issues of the scammers. They're still not prosecuted. Why? The laws are not basically strong enough to hold them accountable. So how much longer do we have to really keep waiting for both the the government and the National Assembly to take these issues seriously? Because at the end of the day, people's lives depend on it. Each and every day we hear stories and cases of nude pictures of women and girls being published online. Nothing basically comes out of it. Sometime last year in October or whatever, if I can remember right, we did a nationwide campaign in rural communities. We went to Basse, we went to Sierra, we went to Soma, among other settlements as well. And we did a digital safety and cyberbullying awareness. And majority of the testimonies that came out from the women and the girls were, whenever they report cases of such to the police, it's either they're being pointed as the victims or basically nothing comes out of it. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. How do you address this? How do we really address this? Forget about awareness raising. It's high time people take this seriously. One thing I've observed and noticed is that if it really doesn't affect you directly, you don't take steps at all. And that should stop. We need to take such matters seriously and take the right decisions in addressing such, instead of just brushing it under the carpet and leaving it at that. Thank you.
Yeah, cybersecurity awareness is the key. Just to add up to what they were saying about the central bank saga, we got a publication from the American SAT that the black cat ransomware is untraceable. You can do your findings later on.
I can tell you the hit on the Central Bank of the Gambia is traceable, and it's ransomware attack.
Okay,
It is traceable.
so Malick,
If you don't understand about it, please don't say.
no, it's simple. I think we have a solution to that, Malick. Malick, I think we still have the sandbox to the ransomware. It's still there. So later you can see me and you and they. We can give you access to the sandbox, and in they.
Yeah, I was part of the team that did the analysis. So actually, anyway, let's leave it at that.
we can come to a conclusion on that. But coming back to what Anet said, even within gmCSIRT, there are weaknesses. Within the police force, there are weaknesses. Within even the Gambia Cybersecurity Alliance, there are weaknesses. Within SHOAW Gambia, there are weaknesses. There are weaknesses within GAMCON. There are weaknesses within, everywhere. No system is perfect. I can tell you, no system is perfect. Any day, any platform or any institution, organization that claim everything is perfect or everything is okay within their system, I don't think we have reached that level. But what we do is, how do we ensure we have a more resilient cyberspace as far as cybersecurity is concerned? The Ministry of Digital Economy has done a fantastic job for the past 4 years. I can tell you that they have been formulating one of the highest policies and regulations than any other ministry in the Gambia. We have the Information Communication Act 2009 is under review. We have the National Cybersecurity Strategic Document and the policy, which is in place. We have the Cybercrime Bill, which is going to the National Assembly. We have the Data Protection and Privacy Bill. We have the email policy. You understand? So you can name them. You can name a lot of them, and I think we have to give a round of applause to the ministry, through the director, and they've been very, very well to ensure we have. And I can tell you, these are some of the things why our ranking went that low. I can tell you that that high. If you see, we are at 17 in Africa. Take it from me, 17 in Africa. Imagine, we have a SAT less than 4 years, right, Malick? Yes, and we are 17. It's not only about the technical capabilities of a country, but everything starts from the policies and the regulations, whether you have the right laws to prosecute cyber criminals. And I think the ministry is doing very, very well in that endeavor. However, we cannot conclude this session without throwing back questions and answers from our beautiful participants. Yeah, I can see hands coming. So yes, so let's start with Joseph is the first person who raised his hand. Give it to Joseph, the one near Ismaila. Give him the mic. Okay. So let's have Joseph Gomez from the Webway.
Yeah, mine is actually a simple question.
If we have questions online, can somebody please help me forward the questions to me?
Okay, mine is actually a simple question. I think it's for this for gmCSIRT, the cyber unit in the police. You also have GCSA and the other one there. So I just want you to help us. How many activities have you done so far, to create awareness in relation to your existence? Yeah. So what I really want to understand is how many activities have you conducted so far in order to make people, so that people are aware of your existence? And like, for instance, let's say as an individual, if I'm a victim of cyber incident, who should be my point of contact? It is the cyber unit at the police, gmCSIRT, is it GCSA? That's really what I want to help clarify. Thank you.
Okay, so I can say the Gambia Police Force is really working hard to create awareness. Actually, every Monday, we normally have a cyber talk show through our radio, the Gambia Police Force radio. We normally have cybersecurity awareness talk show on how people can adopt the culture of cybersecurity, and if they are faced with cyber crime, how can they protect themselves? And we even talk about some of the organizations, like at organizations level, not as an individual, but an organization's level, what are some of the precautions that they can take in time of cybercrime? And also we talked about Central Bank of the Gambia, or there should be a cybersecurity framework whereby all the banks should actually follow to actually prevent or mitigate some of the cybercrime that we're facing in the Gambia. And even last year, we conducted a cybersecurity awareness together with Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, which is now Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, right? Yeah. So we have actually did a community, let's say a nationwide tour with Sanusi and other people, and then we talked to people about cybersecurity, and it was fruitful. Some people are even talking about some things like, I received a call from someone saying my mom has an accident or something like that. So these are some of the things that, like, if you reach out to the grassroots, they tell you there are problems, so you can know how you can actually at ministry level, at organizations level, let's say NGOs level, and then the Gambia Police Force level, how we can actually work together and actually combat this cybercrime that we're facing on this cyberspace. I think the Gambia Police Force is doing amazing work. And then also we are not stopping there. We're even planning to do more videos whereby the police officers will be talking about cybersecurity, on how people can protect themselves when they are facing cybercrime on this cyberspace, because cybercrime happen offline and online. When you talk about social engineering, it can happen one-on-one attack. You can, especially in the Gambia here, social engineering can work very well. You don't have to use computers to hack someone. You just have to have a nice conversation with them. They will tell you everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Yes. That's
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
So we are really creating awareness about cybersecurity in the Gambia here. The Gambia Police Force is actually working, tirelessly to make sure that cybersecurity is taken seriously, and to create more awareness about cybersecurity, and having that collaboration with NGOs and then with other ministry to actually combat, because cybersecurity is not one person's responsibility. It's a collective responsibility. Only one institution cannot do all. We have to come together, work together, and then we can be able to mitigate this cybercrime. I can say we'll get rid of it, but we can actually mitigate it in the Gambia here. Yeah.
Malick,
Yeah, the mandate given to the gmCSIRT. gmCSIRT is the focal point of contact for cybersecurity incidents. Basically, we are working with the police whenever we have an incident. When we did our investigation, after doing our investigation, we forward it to the police for further investigation, or for them to do the charge, because we don't have the mandate to prosecute to prosecute, or arrest. So what we do is, when we do our investigation, we forward it to the police. We have series of cases when it comes to this online scamming. After doing our investigation, we forwarded it to the police for them to do the prosecution. We have been in collaboration with the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy for cybersecurity awareness. We have our social media page where we do post tips on how to secure yourself on the internet, and yeah, that's it.
Next question. Yes. Okay. The mic is there. The mic, please. Yes, Dauda. Ismaila, allow Dauda.
Sorry, just a very short question to.
Okay, Malick, you wait, Malick, you wait.
Yeah,
okay, you want to add something to? Okay, Ismail, allow him. He just want to add something to what Malick said. Get him the other mic, please.
Okay.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. I just want to add to what my court just said, Malick Sallah. I am Dauda Jata. I'm part of the gmCSIRT team, alongside Malick and others. So the gentleman asked a very important question with respect to our job. This of the events that we really welcome, where we actually get the opportunity to share some of the things that we do, and also how you can get in touch with us. So one of the issues that he raised is how you can get in touch or how you can report an incident. Since we are on a PURA, and then PURA has a toll-free line, 148. So if you have any cybersecurity related incident, or you know anyone that has cybersecurity related incident, please call PURA's free toll line 148, and they will take your details, or they will get you in touch with us. As simple as that. And also,
Dauda, no, it's not. Wait, it's not simple as that. Look, this 48148-149. I don't know this number. Let's be frank. We are having a frank conversation. This number is only available during working hours. Oh, look, you know, we have evidence. This number, all of you guys, try it. No.
Yes, it's available.
Yes, it's available. Okay,
you know, this is why.
Let's have a frank discussion.
Yes.
Call the line right now, and you see.
This is working hours. Right now is working hours. They are there. They will pick the call. When they close, please. Anybody can call the line at 10 p.m. at night to pretend to report a case and see. If you don't mind, their answering machine will be the person to be speaking to you.
But I disagree with you.
I disagree.
You know, Dauda.
Okay, but nevertheless, the thing is, we are doing something. Can it be done better? Yes, it can be done better, and then we will do it better.
Exactly.
We guarantee you.
Exactly.
And we are working towards that.
That's what we want. Let it be 24 hours.
Yes. Obviously, actually, the SART is at the teething stage. When we started it, normally SART, they have actually stages. You have the basic, intermediate, and advanced. The ITU, the Minister, and PURA, the first stage of the SART was to establish a basic SART. That is to provide what? Proactive service. That is, try to get vulnerabilities and also give recommendations on how to solve it. That was done, and it was successfully done. That we have successfully done. And then we are pretty much happy that we are really starting at a good footing. And then most of the things that we do now, we work with the CNIs. That is what we call the critical national infrastructures. Why? Most of you don't know our presence, but most of these CNIs, they know our presence. That is why we are using this platform or such events to announce our presence. That if you have issues, or after this, or during break time, you can get our contact numbers, or when we go back to office, we'll try to see how best we can improve our mode of communication with the private citizens. But we can promise you that from here on, we will do better.
Thank you.
Yes.
Essentially, Dauda, thank you. Let's clap for him. Dauda, the first phase of the gmCSIRT. Yeah, you can return my mic. Don't worry.
I have so many things to talk about.
Return my mic, please. Return the mic. We collect the mic, please. So the first phase of the gmCSIRT is successful. Handed over and they close the chapter. They move to another level. In the Gambia, there is one very important thing that we lack. At the end of every year, we expect an incident report from the gmCSIRT every year. The Gambia Cybersecurity Alliance has been doing it. The director of ICT is here. He's a testimony to that. Pura, at the end of every year, or not every year, in fact, every month, we need the QoS report. The last report Pura put on their website is 2019. You can go there right now and check. These are issues, you know, the issues of cybersecurity and trust boil down to all these things, because if you're not getting the right information at the right moment, you tend to ask questions about the relevant authorities, the roles that they are playing in those issues. And this is why the IGF is very, very important, because it's the platform for people to come and express our frustration about some of the issues that are happening in our country as far as, you know, internet governance or the internet ecosystem is concerned. So I'll give the floor to, okay, my sister is talking. Let's allow, the director. Let's give the floor to the director. Okay, director, allow the ladies first. Yes, please.
I have the mic.
Yes, please. Proceed.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I have a question to Pira. I was going to ask this during the breakout session, right? When we talk about the public regulatory authority, I'd frankly speak this as a typical average Gambian, that the bar and the standards is so low for Pira. No offense, right? We talked about the amount of funds people spend on internet, right? It's crazy compared to just Senegal, okay? That is one. We will talk about trust and security. I tell you, people like me would have little or no trust to Pura if you're supposed to regulate everything in this country and nothing, I wouldn't say nothing, but majority of the things we need as Gambians are not being regulated, then it becomes an issue. So this is where I'm coming from the perspective of trust. For instance, we have seen Gamtel increase their home use service from 2,500 to 3,000 without prior notice to anybody. It was just a memo that was sent circulated to the media or on their Facebook page, right? And then we have seen now it increase from 15 to 30%, which is bizarre. We have seen Pura put an embargo on radio license for community and commercials since 2018 or 2019. To this day, it has been the same. There has not been communication, and there is not even updates about issues of this instance. And it is the same with the water bills, right? And we, as a radio person, we know these things are going on and what has happened. Where is the communication? You have a website, yes, but is it reflecting what we want as Gambians? So when we talk about security and trust, I'll tell you the same thing I said to immigration. If I have a missing passport and I go back to the immigration to replace it, you already scanned my 4 fingers or the 5th one.
Yes.
You have done that.
Go to
right?
the process again.
For doing that,
Yes.
if I lose my passport, I expect to come back to immigration, bring this claim, with a police report, with the concept that I don't have to start from scratch. It's already in the system. But if I don't give it back. But until this minute I am talking to you, from Brussels, I lost my bag at the airport. Until today, 2 trips, I can't travel. Do you know why? Where is the information that the immigration took from me? I have to start all over again from zero, applying for a passport. Where did that data go to?
Thank you. In fact, to cut the don't wait, don't give the mic yet. To cut the long story short, Dauda, Pura. To cut the long story short. Let me land. Just to cut the story short, I think we will give the floor to the director to do some clarity. But just to cut all the questions that the questions he put together, let me summarize it for you. Essentially, what she is saying is anything that Pura is regulating is crumbling. That is the perfect scenario that we can put here. You understand? And I think we'll give the floor to the director to make some clarification.
Wait,
Which-
sir,
which
can I
one?
say one thing?
No, just a minute. No,
What you said.
no, wait. I'll come back to you. Yes, director.
With your kind permission, I want to stand.
Yes, director.
So let me begin by saying I don't work for Pura. It's a disclaimer, but it is my responsibility to talk because most of the things she's saying, I think I am quite aware of what has been happening. So I think we cannot be in a forum that I know I can clarify and I sit down. So I wouldn't be doing just myself. So I want to say Pura, no, it's not crumbling, because if we did not have Pura, the sector will be chaotic. So not everything they are regulating is crumbling. So that is not a fair statement. To begin with, the reason why when that memo leaked, the GAMTEL pricing, it was Pura that intervened. That is why the pricing did not come into effect. So if at all we did not have a regulator, GAMTEL would have actually just gone ahead and implement the pricing. So God, we had a regulator who told GAMTEL, you cannot just increase pricing without going through the necessary processes. So this is why that did not happen. When it comes to NAWEC pricing, it also went through a process. NAWEC cannot increase prices without going through a procedure. In fact, they even do what they call the consumer consultations. This is supposed to happen a couple of years ago, but government had to actually something had to happen so that this increment wouldn't happen. But we are at a point where it's either increase or you don't have NAWEC. We are at that stage. So on the radio licenses, I also want to indicate that was not the decision of Pura. That was purely the decision of the Ministry of Information and Communications Infrastructure at the time. And the reason why there was a freeze on radio licenses, because remember, Pura does not issue licenses. The minister is the one who issues licenses. The application starts with Pura at the interface, and they will recommend to the minister to approve or otherwise. And the minister is obliged to accept the decision of Pura or otherwise. You don't have to go by what Pura decides. So the reason why at the time there was a freeze on radio license is because we had a lot of interference when it comes to spectrum. So you need to put your house in order, and we also have to have sanity in the broadcasting sector. This is why there was that freeze on the issuance on license. Yes, I agree with you. It's too long because this is since 2019. I quite agree with you, and I think the regulators should put their house in order and make sure the reason why the ministry imposed that temporal freeze is sorted. Pura had actually engaged us since before the decoupling that we need to lift this ban. But then obviously, some of these things, the minister has the powers to do it, to limit. The minister has those powers to limit, and essentially, possibly the minister at the time felt it was the right thing to do, because if you look at it, we have so many radio stations that are basically doing what are they doing essentially? That is a different conversation. But back to my main points, I want to indicate this panel is very, very interesting. And I wish we had our Director of Cybersecurity also on the panel, who unavoidably could not attend. In fact, we wanted to have one of our staff also to join the panel, but also he was not available. I want to indicate a lot is actually been done at the level of the ministry with the decoupling and the new restructuring. We have established a whole directorate responsible for cybersecurity and appointing Sanusi Drame, who has a master's in cybersecurity from University of Maryland, as director of cybersecurity. He is one of the experts, first experts, one of the first experts. I'm not saying he's the first, but one of the first experts we have with a master's in cybersecurity. Now we have a pool of them, and then we are bringing in principals and a lot of ICT officials, cybersecurity officials to address. That being said, with all the policy directions and the laws and regulation that we are doing and our ranking, which the moderator is actually commending us, I think there is a lot that needs to be done. We cannot be here and think it's business as usual. No, we are very, very vulnerable. We are moving into the digital economy, and we need to do a lot to actually make sure that we are fine. So I think maybe those are some of the things that we are expect what needs to be done. But because if we just sit here as a government officials and I hear the ranking and I hear the good things that we've been doing, we go back comfortable. But I know that a lot needs to be done, you know, when it comes to in fact, our ISPs and our operators. You know, sometimes we talk about these you know, the speed of the internet, but what is happening? Where is all that bandwidth going? Earlier this morning, we had one of the CEOs of the ISP. You know, these are some of the things that we discussed. We say internet is very, very slow. Let's say this morning, Gamtel pumped in 100 meg, but if you look at the conversation on our WhatsApp group, the feeling was that where is that 100 meg going to? What is happening to our bandwidth? I think these are some of the conversation that we need to do, and gmCSIRT can support us to say, okay, is it our devices? Are our devices, you know, substandard? What is happening really, so that at least we can take stock, and maybe when we go back, we will address these things. And with the CBG and the discussion, I think, you know, something is done. In fact, at the level of the ministry, when the investigation also came up from the committee, the Honorable Minister presented something to Cabinet, and the direction that will be taken to properly guide us as a country. But the take home here for me is a lot needs to be done if we want to achieve the digital economy. Thank you.
I agree. The director have said it all. Before we go to the next section, I would want to read from Mr. Mbo, Alaji Mbo, the National Assembly member, and he sent this to the link, to the Zoom platform. He said, just to clarify things that the parliament is yet to receive. He said the parliament is yet to receive any bill relating to cybersecurity and personal data protection. So it means the data protection and the privacy bill is not yet at the National Assembly. It's still with the ministry. So probably the director will help us with that. And he said again, the Malabo Protocol or the Malabo Convention was signed on December 2nd, 2022, which we knew, but yet to be brought to Parliament for ratification. And if that is not done, we are still not there. Do you understand? So the other thing that he made clarity on, he said, the ratification is a process where the cabinet paper is done first and presented to cabinet for approval. Once approved by cabinet, a motion for ratification is moved in Parliament. Once it passes Parliament, then we say the Gambia has ratified from Mr. Alaji Mbo. I think this is a very, very important clarification. Yes. Let's have the director once again, then I'll go to the next one.
Sorry, I wanted to say Honorable Mbo is very, very right. Yes. On the stratification, we have drafted a cabinet paper so that the Honorable Minister can submit this to cabinet. Once we have approval, we will take it up to the National Assembly for the relevant ratification. So on the bill, we had a lot of back and forth between cabinet and of course the Minister of Justice and the committee, the technical committee, which GSIA and gmCSIRT sits in. So I think in fact, as recent as last week or week before, we also had some comments that came from cabinet, and the committee is actually working on that. Then we will submit it back to cabinet. So it is not yet at the National Assembly. Honorable Mbo is very right, but it is our intention to submit both during the next cabinet's sitting. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The National Assembly session. I mean.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Director. Let's have let's have at the back here. There are people with. Okay, Jojo. I think Jojo wanted to say something. Yes.
Do I need to stand?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I want to say congratulations to the panelists. I really enjoyed the discussion and the brilliant ladies there, and Malick as well. Congratulations. So you talked about most of our systems we're not there yet, right? But then I think we need to build the capacity of the people working on the system. That's what we need to do. We need to build our own systems from scratch. Let's not be using those open source platforms. It opens up a lot of vulnerabilities and threats. Use a lot of, again, these all open up, puts us at risk. That's what we need to work on. But also let's look at standards that we can work towards. we do not work with standards. So look at the quality assurance side of things, and I think that's what we need to work on as a country. Okay, and then secondly, we talk about Plura, we talk about, I understand we have our frustrations, but it's a start. Let's see how we can make it better. I was quite excited to hear about this helpline, but after listening to the conversation, so it was at another discussion, they talked about the helpline, and I know of quite a few people that need this helpline, and I wanted to suggest it to them. But now that you're saying that we don't have any laws, right, for the police to act, so what happens now? If I ask these people to call the helpline, how do you help them? What comes out of it?
No, not for you. It's for gmCSIRT. Yes, gmCSIRT.
Okay, thank you for giving us the floor once again. Just a point of clarification. I guess for the police, you can use the IC Act of 2009. If you look at chapter 3, part 3, which has to deal with computer misuse and cybersecurity, you can use that part of the IC Act to prosecute people. But the problem is many people or many of the judiciary people don't know that. If you ask them how many people know it, you can use that particular section, that particular act, and prosecute people, rather than using the old colonial rule. And then going back to that lady, unfortunately, PURA doesn't regulate the cybersecurity space. We don't regulate. What we do, what the SAT does is what they do, they offer what they call reactive and proactive services. That's what SAT do. And then actually, SAT services, they're code crossing across. Anywhere you go, you see a SAT, they are synonymous. They do the same. They don't basically do what we call regulatory function. Okay, so what they help is that they sort of like help sort of like do vulnerable analysis, and also do what they call CNI, what they call mapping and stuff like that. But probably I don't want to be too technical, but to be just to be brief, they do what they call reactive and proactive. What they call by proactive is to find threats or to find vulnerable or risk in a system and give advice to the owner of the system how it can go about remedying that particular risk before an attack occurs.
Thank you.
And the reactive is if an attack occurs, how best they can recover to make sure that there's what we call business continuity.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. In fact,
Mr.
before I
something about the Gambia police force.
Yeah,
I want to rectify that point.
I'll come to you. No, before I go to Ismaila and the last question, it's almost long time. So I want to say something that's Dauda is further even confusing us. That is when you said the gmCSIRT does not regulate, PURA don't regulate cybersecurity, or gmCSIRT doesn't regulate cybersecurity. So the director of ICT is here. Director, who regulates cybersecurity in the Gambia?
Director, you should have been in the panel.
I think
look, this is a very, very important question. We are talking about cybersecurity and trust. So we need to know who regulates cybersecurity. Director, help us. Yeah, we need to. Who regulates cybersecurity?
Maybe minister should have really been on this panel. Should have taken me from outside. So I think what I want to say is PURA is the regulator. Well, when it comes to cybersecurity, maybe naturally the expectation is they should naturally the expectation is as the regulation they should regulate it. But since this is it's something that is hot and new. And then, of course, you wouldn't have a lot of capacity in all the domains, like some of the people indicated before. But the expectation as a ministry, we have taken this thing up before with PURA. How do we do that? In fact, when it comes to core IT, who regulates core IT, not just cybersecurity, when it comes to IT itself, our applications and all those things. If you look at it, PURA is also not regulating that. What they are doing is the telecom sector. So, but naturally, as the sector regulator, they should do that. So the National ICT Agency is established, but not as a regulator. Not as a regulator. In some countries, their ICT agency implements and they also regulate. So we are looking into it. At some point, we also wanted to decouple telecoms from Pura. We wanted to establish a whole telecoms regulator. So all those things are conversations that are at the very infant stage. But the expectation is it should be Pura to regulate, whether they are not doing it now, but that is the expectation from the ecosystem. But like I said, at the ministry, we have established a directorate, and subsequently, the expectation is this directorate will evolve into an agency, because if you look at it, this is how Ghana started. They had ICT department under the Ministry of ICT. Later, what they have is they have their ICT agency. Their cybersecurity agency, which serves as a regulator. Rwanda has the same thing. So the expectation is this recent established directorate will evolve into an agency to regulate cybersecurity. But now the expectation is Pura, and I want to say, Dauda is very right. They are not doing a lot when it comes to that, but we are beginning with the gmCSIRT, which I think it's a good start in. Thank you.
Exactly. Amadou, I agree. I agree with. Let's clap for the director, please. We are running. Unfortunately, we are running. No, the question is not answered. No, I'm coming there. Yes, it's like right now, you know, you will agree with me, we are in the digital age. Artificial intelligence is rapidly, you know, flying like no man business. Cybersecurity, you know, just to name a few. So all these things need to be seriously looked into to have a very, very good framework and a regulation. Because if that doesn't happen, by the time we will start discussions over this issue, is too late. Georgia made mention of one thing. We are running out of time, but I really want to emphasize what Georgia said. The issue of trust and cybersecurity. In the Gambia, within even our systems, we don't trust each other. That is the problem.
You are right.
Because what happened is that we have, I always say this, we have very, very, very good software development companies in this country. Take it from me. Companies that are building softwares for European companies. Imagine, would you believe that if they tell you, do you know there are software companies in this country that are building softwares for companies in Europe? In this country, they are here. But these are companies that will apply for tender and all these things. At the end of the day, they will just turn their tenders down and go in for external companies. And these are all factors that are affecting our ecosystems. And I believe if we really want to support the ecosystem, if the government says, we have the gmCSIRT, gmCSIRT cannot even purchase the platform that they are using right now to monitor the cyberspace.
We have one now.
It's donated. So
what is the name?
You don't need to say that. These are high capital intense platforms that you are to pay nothing less than $100,000 every month to use them. So essentially, countries like Rwanda, if you see they excel, is because of using situations like this. What is stopping the ministry or the stakeholders to say, let's invite all the ICT companies, build a platform that can do A, B, C, and D, and C. If they build it, let them present, let there be experienced juries to sit over this, experienced software engineers to assess what they presented. If it can do the job and is scalable, in the future you can enhance it. We start with that. The minister in his last press conference made example of one thing, the IFMIS system in the Gambia. Rwanda came to the Gambia to learn about IFMIS. Imagine Rwanda, the Rwanda of all people that everybody is talking about. They came to learn about IFMIS in the Gambia, studied our IFMIS system, read it very, very well, understood it very, very well. They went back and built their own IFMIS system. And now they are donating it back to the Gambia. Interesting, right? So these are things that we have to address. Let's build capacities if we want to fix problems. Yes. So Ismaila, you can come then.
Yes.
It's my last question. Last question. Then Ismaila will. I will give you the floor. Then we wrap up. In your last statement, all of you, I'll give you 2 minutes, 1 minute, 1 minute, 2. Don't worry. You will clarify that. Yes, Ismaila.
Yes. My name is Ismaila again. I work with the Gambia Information Security Community. I think first of all, we need to appreciate what has been done so far by the government, private sector, and the civil society. And I think these people deserve a lot, a huge round of applause from 5 years ago to now. Yes, and right now, as far as I'm concerned, what I think needs to be done, just mentioned, is that capacity. Now, as of yesterday, we are having a discussion. In this country right now, as far as I know, we have more than 15 professionals in this country. Now, we are talking about coming up with policies, regulations to secure our cyberspace. Are the experts? I don't think we go back to other companies to come and do much work for us. Now, with all the efforts that the ministry is doing, there should be scholarships and education, cybersecurity, being offered at the University of Gambia. And also, colleges that are actually offering cybersecurity at a very high cost, $25,000 is local certification, and you have to go and pay extra $400 to do international certification. So you see, it's very expensive, and it's going young Gambians into cybersecurity, and then picking up a career in it. Now, the other point that I want to raise is that in the Gambia, we need to share. I'm always afraid of data, information. If you talk, they say you might intimidate yourself or blah blah blah. The case of CDT should be a lesson learned for all of us, and then all agencies should learn from. And until they share that investigation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So finally, I will give the floor to my panelists to wrap up. We start with Anet. Anet, your final words, please. Okay.
Thank you, Amadou. This was indeed an interesting conversation, and I think each and every one of us took away something out of it. Next questions we need to really pose onto ourselves is what next when it comes to cybersecurity, when it comes to trust, when it comes to innovation, when it comes to AI that we're talking about right now. Earlier this year, we conducted a survey to understand the state of online abuse in the Gambia, and we should be doing the validation hopefully before the end of this month. And when we send out invitations to stakeholders, please, please, please do not send your junior staffs, because people's lives depend on this, and it will be very important for you to see the data and understand how it's affecting people's lives in Gambia. Thank you.
Okay, for me, my issue is with Dauda, gmCSIRT. He's saying we can use IT Act 2009 and prosecute some of these cyber criminals, not forgetting that not all cyber crimes are the same. They comes in several different forms, and you cannot use IT Act always to actually prosecute them because it doesn't fall under that category. So you cannot prosecute them using that IT Act, which he is saying. And also, I guess my other question go to Pura. I think they are not actually listening to people. I can remember the Gambia Cybersecurity, in collaboration with Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, had a data privacy day whereby people talked about how this ministry can actually protect people's personal data. I can tell you since then, up to now, I'm checking. I can know some of you people here. If I have your number, I can know you, how many data you have, the amount of data you have in your cell phone. I can determine that, and that is you are violating someone's privacy because you do not ask for their consent before you can actually share that with the public. If I have your official number, I will know how much data you have. And let's say, for example, I just want to test you. I can say, okay, can you borrow me your phone? I want to, use YouTube to actually do some research. And you told me I don't have bytes.
I just use that I know exactly how much byte you're having in your phone, and that is they are violating your privacy. I think Pura need to actually work on that, because since last year we have been discussing about it, regulation, but I don't think they are regulating. If I'm you, tomorrow I won't be here, but if anybody comes tomorrow, Africell is here. Ask them, why are they actually sharing that data with the public without your consent?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And also my last word is the Gambia Police Force is really working very hard when it comes to cybersecurity. And if anybody is facing cybercrime on this cyberspace, you can reach out to us at our headquarters, the Gambia Police Force headquarters. We are located at Banjul. You can ask them to direct you to cybercrime units. And if you read there, inshallah, we will help you with the cybercrime that you're facing on this cyberspace. Thank you very much. And it's a pleasure being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
The size of the global cybersecurity. The size of the global cybersecurity market is constantly increasing, according to research. And I believe the government will invest more on cybersecurity so that we'll be able to build our cyberspace. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Malick. Please, let's give a round of applause to all the panelists, please. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, Anet. Thank you, Njie Toure from the Gambia Police Force, SHOAW Gambia, from the Gambia Computer Security and Incident Response Team. Thank you very much, the panelists. And we go and have our lunch break. After the lunch break, we are continuing with another session. Data governance is next. Thank you.